This one is called Asia's Loneliest Generation is Going Broke from Mr. Edvasian. Please give it to me.
Welcome back. Always great to see you. Funny thing is, when I swiped your card, it said insufficient funds, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so paying someone for love or companionship isn't a new revolutionary concept. We've been
Never pay for someone to feel like they love you, okay? They don't. It's a transaction. If anything, engaging in these kind of behaviors, and I think there is a similarity that exists on Twitch, for example, right? The parasocial, the parasocial bonding that I have with the audience, the streamers and the chatters, to make them feel like they're worth something, so that the more money you give, the more favorable they're treated. I hate that shit. I constantly just make sure that there's a fucking barrier that you cannot cross. You try to like buy my like attention, you try to buy my courtship, I immediately call you a fucking monkey and end that shit. That's also why we don't really have any Oilers in this chat. We don't. I actively discourage people from gifting subs or spending money here. I say just go to Patreon. You want actual value for your buck rather than trying to beg for attention from a random dude watching anime that you've already watched. It's fucking stupid. But people are so lonely and desperate, and the whole live streaming experience is such a like it feels like I'm here with you, at the same time, that people fall into these delusions, and I'm gonna guess that a lot of people are going broke for this.
been doing it for generations. Back in the day, in ye old brothels. If the price is right, Drew Carey would materialize out of thin air with a wheel of potential friends you can spend the night with. Things have definitely changed over the years. What is revolutionary is Asia coming up with new interesting ways to monetize these relationships.
Oh,
they
boy.
saw a gap in the market of lonely singles in your area and filled it with the hottest people and non-people you'll ever see. All we need is your name, ID, and the last 4 digits of your credit card. There's services that let you rent a boyfriend,
Rent a boyfriend, rent a girlfriend, baby, let's go.
or girlfriend to scratch that relationship itch you've been having,
Ugh.
where you can eat a meal and spend quality time together as couples do.
This is so toxic though, because you're feeding into that delusion. This is not like helping you, get rid of that desire for loneliness. You think that like, oh, I'm really lonely, I'm going to rent a girlfriend or a boyfriend and maybe I won't feel as bad about my life anymore. You're gonna do it. You're gonna fall into this fucking trap of thinking that they actually care about you. Then you're gonna be even more lonely, even more desperate, to the point of going broke to buy these companionships. It's so pathetic, but it's kind of fucked up, People making so much money off of your loneliness. And yeah, I believe that one day Apple's gonna come up with a new product where AI, you're gonna have your own waifus, bro. Everyone will have like a companion. It's gonna be like fucking Blade Runner, where you have like an AI robot companion at home that will just kind of like satisfy those needs as people become more lonely and isolated than ever before.
After your allotted time is up, you just move on with your day as usual. No need to deal with all the drama of being in a relationship. Want a different experience where you get to interact with many attractive hotties in one sitting? Check out these NPC theme parks. Asian guys who look like they came straight out of a video game are just strolling around, waiting for you to hit the
What? Wait, China is revolutionizing the meta. Wait, NPC theme park?
A button so they can start their NPC dialogue with you. Well, now that I'm looking closer, not a whole lot of talking going on. Oh my god.
They look like a bunch of like Chinese donghua characters, bro. Wow. Thumbs up. Wow. Oh, wow.
Hey, good on these guys for being able to do this without laughing. Me as an NPC.
I'd be fucking cringing.
A tired innkeeper or an old maiden type of wizard. Did I put your name on the goblet of fire? Okay, what if
Dumbledore said calmly.
you hate outside? Dealing with the hassle of commuting somewhere and interacting with gross, real people.
Live streaming, baby. Go on Twitch. Go on your live streaming platforms. Go try to talk to a girl that's showing your booba and so their booba, and you pay them money and you want to feel like really close to them.
I know those can be annoying. Check out these AI husbandos and waifus.
Oh shit. We're not even at the real live streaming people. Okay, this is 2D AI bots that you pay money to get more affection from. But I mean, that shit, that's pretty much gacha games too, bro. Like, straight up, that's straight up gacha games too. You pay for a chance, not a guarantee. You spend thousands for a fucking chance at a 2D JPEG that will be your girlfriend without realizing that hundreds of thousands and maybe even millions of other people across the world is also jacking off to the same girl, so she's not really yours either.
The perfect significant other, since they can be anything you want. Cute, funny, available to talk to at any time of the day, plus they don't smell or have to go number 2. Oh,
yikes.
Lucky.
Babe, can you teach me Chinese?
Of course, little kitten.
Oh! Babe? Little kitten? Ugh.
Let's start with something simple. For example, hello in Chinese is ni hao. Say it back to me, babe.
我操你妈的屁股！
你好。
Damn, that sounded perfect. You're a natural, babe. Now,
Is anyone blushing? Why am I blushing? Video games, where the main appeal is a big roster of attractive characters, have gotten a big boost in popularity lately. Genshin Impact, the otome genre like Love and Deep Space, raking in the big bucks. In double.
Man, there is a huge untapped market of, because like remember, there's a lot of horny guys that want, you know, anime girls. But there's also just as many horny girls that want anime guys. And Love and Deep Space, oh my goodness, this guy's chiseled.
In double digits. I'm talking like 30 million USD in just 1 year. These sexy clusters of pixels can already retire at 8.
It's a great business. It honestly is. They've tapped into an untapped market which has been ignored for a long time. A bunch of horny girls who wants the husbandos, the femboys, right? It's a great, you know, intersection.
Months old. Damn, what are these people paying for? Must be really engaging with fun gameplay mechanics?
No.
Maybe? The only thing I
delusion.
see is great gowns, beautiful gowns.
You shouldn't do that.
Do it more.
And last but not least, the most lucrative form of capitalizing on parasocial relationships is the live streaming industry. We've seen it time and time again. Entertainers who lock in for 8 hours, 7 days a week, that end up cultivating a super loyal fan base to support them, which eventually leads to some fans getting overly invested in their favorite streamer. So after normalizing these parasocial relationships fueled by capitalism,
that's also why VTubing culture is so profitable. And like, I definitely am shooting myself in the foot by not leaning into this. Like, if I really wanted to milk as much as money from you guys as possible, I would start calling you guys my family. I would be so appreciative and thank you. Oh my God, wow, I can't pay rent this month. Can someone help me out? We're family, guys. Only a couple extra dollars for a sub goal. Wow, we're gonna do a subathon. Wow, thank you for all the support. You guys mean so much to me. I think that's so fucking pathetic. It's so toxic. You feed this delusion into an impressionable young audience that have no better understanding of what's fucking happening. And then you delude them onto thinking that they matter, that you have some sort of like preference for people who spend more money to you. I find that absolutely fucking disgusting. That's why I'm always like, don't fucking give me subs. Don't try to donate money here. If you have disposable income and you want to support me, I appreciate it. But don't for a fucking second think that I'm going to treat you better just because you've been watching me for a long time or you've been like paying me a lot of money. If you really want, like, that's why I always want to just make my livelihood on the ad revenue from the value proposition of the content that I'm making, or through Patreon where there's actual bang for your buck, right? When people donate money on Twitch, they're not doing this necessarily to help the streamer. In fact, you'll see that quite often it's the most popular, like Kai Cenat, you know, these other huge channels like Hassan or whatever, they're making so much money already, but they're the people that constantly gets gifted subs and constant donations. Do you know why? Because they're not sending money to help them financially. They're trying to attempt to buy their attention because they want to feel the dopamine hit when they get their names read as they're just reacting to a video or something. Someone donates like 50 fucking subs and we're like, wow, thank you XX69 cocksucker 420 for the gifted subs. Anyways, back to the video. I find that so fucking dystopian.
Lock in for 8 hours, 7 days a week, that end up cultivating a super loyal fan base to support them, which eventually leads to some fans getting overly invested in their favorite streamer. So after normal,
and this is how you fucking die, bro. This is why Oshinoku idol culture, people showing up at your front door stabbing you, fan greets. I will never go to any of that shit. Fuck that noise. There's so many crazy psycho parasocials out there. All it takes is one person to end it all.
Normalizing these parasocial relationships fueled by capitalism. Chat, as a society, are we cooked? Yeah, maybe, but not all the way. medium rare at most. People are feeling lonelier and lonelier every year. Going out, meeting people naturally, and actually becoming friends with them is a lot easier said than done. On one side, it's cool seeing people find new ways to fulfill their social needs. Sure, these types of relationships aren't the norm, but if it's between two consenting people with healthy expectations that these aren't a replacement for real-life interaction,
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with, parasocial experiences online. It's about when it gets way too much to the point that you think that you're actually friends, that you think that you've invested so much money into somebody that they'll treat you better. That's when it start getting really weird.
then we good. Until it's not good. As with all human experiences, there's a science behind it. Even with gifting money during a live stream, the live aspect makes it feel like this is a normal person within reach compared to an A-list celebrity behind 55 bodyguards and 55 PR people.
True. Again, it's that the nature of live streaming, the proximity at which how close you feel to the streamer, because you chat and chat, I'll read it. It's like an instant thing, right? You feel like it's there, it's approachable, it's there, unlike a celebrity who is locked between pearly gates.
It's all in real time, so there's a higher chance the streamer you're supporting will notice you. And if you consistently show up during their streams, you'll build that dopamine-inducing rapport with them. You'll give them the money, and they give you a thank you.
Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my god, guys.
It also feels like
I really hope that was an ironic, thing, because this is exactly the thing that I'm making fun of, right? And again, there's nothing, I don't know, just calling your fans, the people who watch you, your family, your friends, you don't know me, and I don't know you. And that's perfectly fine. We're here for the content. Yeah, this is a joke. Obviously, it's a joke. But at the end of the day, you're here for the content, the entertainment. My personal life and whatever type of, feeling that you have, that you're close to me, that does not matter. That's when it gets fucking weird. And I prevent it so hard by just shutting down people that try to do that shit.
It also feels like you're in an exclusive little community full of people with the same interests as you. Like a sports team or a D&D group that gets together every week.
Yeah, it's a community.
Except the activity is one person entertaining everyone. There is a slippery slope with this type of environment. It's a breeding ground for people who are chronically online, using these relationships to replace real ones, leading to situations where someone goes overboard with their affection towards a one-sided friendship. Like that man who sold his baby for $16,000.
Only 16,000? Now, I selling a baby is terrible, okay? I'm just shocked that a baby's only worth 16K.
To a couple looking to adopt, and then blew all of that money on tipping live streamers. He was arrested afterwards, since this whole thing was very illegal. He traded in his child.
Yeah, the best way to make money is to prey on the desperation and loneliness of men online. That's also why I believe VTubing is so profitable. And I have no hate towards the VTubing culture. I implore it. I think that there's a great fit for, VTubing, having these 2D rigs to replace you so that you don't have to show your face and you can remain anonymous, especially for girls who are constantly analyzed and, criticized based on their appearance. But also, a lot of guys actually think that this is supposed to be some sort of ideal girlfriend relation, experience. And the more that you delude yourself thinking that you're like a simp, that you can get closer to your fucking queen, the more money you donate. It's just so sad and pathetic.
Child like a rare Pokemon card, only to end up broke and in jail. Just cause you can have a kid doesn't mean you should have one. You can't even relax, even as a baby. Gotta lock in at all times.
Queen never cry.
Lonely people are an easy target for these types of business models, where you have someone keeping you company in exchange for money or your time. There is promise of a type of intimacy when you become a fan of an influencer you interact with daily. Sometimes it's scary, seeing how easy it is to escape from the sucky parts of life just by using the internet. Kongto, a 32-year-old fan, lives at home with his parents in Miaolai, Taiwan. Having never kissed a girl, Kongto feels more capable of expressing love to a live streamer on the internet than to a woman in real life. He watches his favorite live streamer Yu Tong in private, fearing his parents' reaction if they learn of his habit.
And it's sad and pathetic. But also, if you're able to watch some sort of content or some sort of streamer and you feel like you can be at ease and you feel comfortable, I don't think there's anything inherently bad about feeling comfortable or at ease of being part of a community. But it gets bad when you start using this as a form of escapism to run away from your actual issues in real life. Do you think that this is healthy behavior? Constantly interacting with a random girl who don't care about you but your fucking money, thinking that you're getting close to her by doing this? You're getting older and older. Your prospects of romance and having an actual family is going away. You delude yourself into fucking living in fantasy land online. And at the end of the day, she doesn't know you. She'll never know you. And you won't know her either. But like, it's so easy. It's so fucking easy to fall into this trap because people are more lonely and depressed than ever. And this is such an easy and accessible way to get some gratification, to have some sort of dopamine hit when you have nothing going on in real life.
Tong in private, fearing his parents' reaction if they learn of his habit. Becoming a fanboy or a fangirl is a lot more accessible now since we all have computers and phones. You can fall down a rabbit hole of a random you've never heard of before and come out the other end as a super fan in a day. I subscribe to the mindset people can do whatever they want with their life as long as they're not hurting anyone. Don't matter to me. I've got my own to worry about. There is, however, still a bit of a negative connotation when you hear someone say they're a fan of watching live streams. They sort of have a brand image to uphold. Here, check out this live stream watcher starter pack. Dark, dingy basement, bed rotting, hasn't left room all day, -50 in social skills, not a single drop of water was consumed since yesterday. Dab me.
Guys, surely this is not you in chat right now, right?
I think what's closer to reality is people watching live streams more casually, or they'll have it on in the background where they're not interacting with it 100% of the time.
Yeah, again, most people are just lurkers, bro. Of like any chat, only like 5 to 10% of people actually chat. Straight up. Most people are just lurking, and I try to have my content be very like lurking friendly because of how accessible it is. Because my kind of content is all commentary, and you can have me on a second stream while you're playing a game or doing something else, cooking, chores, or whatever. Therefore, more people will stick around out of him feeling like, oh shit, he's doing too much right now and I need to focus on what he's doing, but I can't even appreciate that because I'm doing something else. That's why I believe like second monitor content lurking is actually very beneficial.
Kongto is one of many bachelors who watch live streams to combat loneliness. This is especially prevalent in Asian countries, where many young men must leave their family villages for work in city factories. Without a familiar face for miles around, they turn to live streams to make their new environment less isolating.
And I don't think there's inherently anything bad about this, right? You are faced with this shitty reality where you're isolated and alone and you're feeling depressed, and you have, these live stream at the tip of your hand and you engage and enjoy the content. Nothing wrong with that. But again, the moment you start using this to substitute everything going on in your life that's missing, the more you delude yourself into thinking that you're like a part of this great like movement and like that she's your like family or friend or maybe potentially a girlfriend that you could have if you keep donating money, that's when shit goes downhill.
If this helps, then good. On the other hand, it's kind of like an illusion of socially connecting with someone. It really depends on each person's situation and how reliant they are. Will they have a full-on breakdown if their favorite creator gets Thanos snapped away? Or will the world keep turning for them? At the same time, might these live streamers be using their fans' loneliness to exploit them for profit?
Absolutely.
Well, sorta, kinda. Possibly yes.
今天给大家讲一下怎么样走进土豪的世界。我相信每一个主播其实都想要多拉几个土豪用户嘛，然后
Not getting rich, guys. Nah, it's about getting people who have no sense of financial responsibility or literacy to donate the money that they don't have to these people. So many people that donate this kind of money aren't like oil princes or like super well off, Nepo kids. It's the average person who's spending all their fucking life savings into one thing because they're so lonely and desperate.
提高自己的销售。
Although, it does take two to tango. No one's forcing you to give away all your life savings just for a chance to be noticed, but it's also scummy to zero in on emotionally vulnerable people. It's like this giant spectrum. There's a lot of online personalities with super fans who support them in a healthy way with boundaries. The creator isn't your BFF, and your fans are also not your BFF. I'd say most of these relationships fall somewhere in the middle, and it should stay that way because the extreme side gets dicey.
Again, right? I am not your friend and you are not my friend. You will never know me despite you consuming my content and maybe getting to know more about me through my commentary, my world viewpoints. But this is reality. I'm simply a person live streaming content, reactions from my fucking apartment. And you will never meet me in person, and it should stay that way because you're here for the content. You're here for the entertainment. I'm here to entertain. And that's it. And if we can just enjoy that and have a good time, a good boundary has been established and we can have fun for a long time. But the moment that you start preying on people's isolation, loneliness, trying to make them feel something by getting them to donate more money, that's when I think shit goes just wrong.
In recent news, a man in China took things too far when he became obsessed with a streamer. And not in the fun Mariah Carey song type of way. Mr. Hong, a simple fellow who ate plain steam buns every day so he could save up money. Not for bills or on a down payment on a house, but to send his favorite streamer in the form of gifts and tips, which ended up costing him around 100,000 USD?
What a fucking idiot, bro. I don't even feel bad about this. You are straight up a retard. You deserve this. I'm victim blaming right now, but if you can't control yourself and you're ruining your life donating money to strangers online because you feel lonely, you deserve this shit.
Okay, choices were made, buns were eaten, money was spent. We can feel bad for him, but ultimately it's his responsibility.
I don't feel bad at all. Where's the fucking self-accountability? Maybe I'm a little bit too black-pilled and too mean about this kind of stuff, but I truly believe that coddling people like this, they will never learn. You need to learn from your mistakes. Coddling them, giving them a pat on the back of the head, and it's like, oh, it's okay. It's not your problem. It's society's problem. You were so lonely and depressed, and you had nothing better to do. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
To budget his finances. I think we overspent a little bit here. How about we cut back on the buns? At least,
you know what? What's worse, actually? Like, let's think about this. You know the guy that was like famous for spending over like 70K, like 100 grand on fake grand order? Let's compare that guy and this guy who spent this much money on a streamer. Who do you think got more value at the end of the day? Unironically, I feel like the gacha player got more. Because at least he got his waifus. At least he got the, you know, the fucking 2D JPEGs to make his gameplay better, I guess. He got something. Donating to the streamer is like, you get that one experience and it's done. You know what I mean? This is like the difference of like, here's the thing. The fake grand order example is like you actually buying something of physical value. It's not physical value. It's digital. It's going to go away if the server gets wiped, but at least you have that. The other person donating money, it's like you're going on like a cruise ship for like a weekend and then you're done. And you'll have that experience, I guess, but that's it. You don't have it. You know, they're both bad. They're obviously both fucking bad, but like, I feel like even in this example, somehow, some way, the gacha player seems to have got more in the end.
at least he wasn't blindly donating. He did have an end goal. Mr. Hong wanted to hear his favorite streamer call him brother.
Bro, $100,000 to get a girl to call you bro? That's crazy. Yes, Mr. Hong is absolutely insane.
Hell yeah, brother. Streams will usually have a ranking metric that shows the amount people have donated, with the highest gifters at the very top.
Yep. And this is how you do it, bro. You want to milk your fans on Twitch? Make them compete. Make them gift and make them feel more appreciated. Oh, thank you, NPCA, for donating 10 subs. I appreciate. Whoa! NPCB with the 50 gifted subs. Wow, guys. Can we get some dubs in chat for NPCB? Whoa! NPCA came back with another 100 gifted. God damn. You rile them up. Make him feel appreciated. Wow, you're doing such a good thing for the community. Guys, dubs in chat for the dude donating money that he probably doesn't even fucking have. For what? For fucking what, bro? So that you can feel good for like 5 minutes and then realize that like shit, you have a fucking sinking feeling in your heart that you wasted fucking money for what, bro? Genuinely. That's why I never encourage this shit. If you want to spend money on me, go to fucking Patreon where you're gonna get the fucking reaction content that you wanted. At least there's real value proposition there. But gifting subs and making money on Twitch is a literal dick. It's a dick comparison contest. Straight up. It is. Constantly, you make people feel like, here's the rankings. Wow, this person donated this much money. Wow, is anyone gonna beat that? It's like some fucking auction, and I see that, and I'm like, this is so fucked up. This is so fucked up that you're just preying on the loneliness of chatters online. And like, I have a pretty extreme take on this. I know that there's a lot of other, streamers that really, engage in this type of behavior. And if you have a lot of money to donate, like, I guess, like, I'm very appreciative of it, right? Like, I'm very thankful that you were able to gift a sub to me. And I'm not saying like, if you give subs to me, that I'm not calling you a fucking loser. I'm just saying like, please take care of yourself first and foremost. Like, don't spend money that you don't have trying to get attention from me because you think that's the only way to do it by spending money. I think you need to have a level of fucking self-respect, and you cannot have that if you're deluded into thinking that this is how you get the attentions of strangers online.
If you're the big dog who's spent the most money, there's more weight to what you have to say. These are referred to as big brothers in China, and the streamer will usually prioritize keeping these rich fans around.
That's right. The person that donated the most money, I'll answer your questions more directly.
By giving them more attention. And when you think about it, the one with the most power isn't the streamer themselves, but the person with the most money. All communities will have some sort of hierarchy,
The whale.
even within fandoms. The older brother term in Asia doesn't always mean someone who's blood related. None of that weird King Charles II.
This isn't like sugar daddy shit. Like, he got a lot of money. Like, this big bro got the big bags. He's donating a lot of money.
And with the loose jaw stuff going on here, it's like when a girl calls an older guy oppa in Korean or oni-chan in Japanese. These can be terms of endearment you say to a close friend or to someone you're familiar with who's older than you. Even in casual settings around strangers, social hierarchy is really important in Asian countries because it shows respect. Mr. Hong just wanted a...
There is a big aspect of that, especially in Asian cultures too. Respecting your elders. There's a specific formal way of addressing people that are your senpais, your kyungs, your nunas, you know, your fucking whatever, right? There is some element of that definitely compounds onto this whole parasocial experience.
really expensive Big Brother shout out, which he probably could have gotten on.
Yeah, they will never call them unks though. Unk is a bit derogatory. You know, Osan, you know, like Japanese. You don't want to call him Osan, right? You don't want to be called Unk. You want to be called Big Bro.
Sales.
Or like even like Korea, you don't want to be called Ajashi, right? You want to be called like Oppa.
Somewhere else. So when 100,000 USD wasn't enough to get Mr. Hong his brother title, he started to steal copper materials from his family's business to...
Mr. Hong! Is the Big Brother status worth it? Is it really worth it to be stealing shit from your family's business?
sell for extra cash. It got to the point where he stole over 300,000 USD and sent every last...
Holy shit, yo, bro is reaching $500,000 at this rate. Already 100K down, now it's over 300K worth of copper. Where did you fucking sell these rare metal goods? What the fuck?
penny to the streamer, which was basically his family's life savings. Looking into this gave me a jump scare at how common these cases are. Although there are a lot of people who do have the extra money to spend.
也是心理寂寞吧，然后就需要一个精神的寄托。一般是一言不合先刷礼物，进来，什么也没跟你说，就觉得他其实可能在房间里待了很久。
现在我还差617级。
I'm only $10,000 away, guys, from 7th level fan. And then when I reach 7th level, the streamer girl will talk to me more. Wow. And then the people in chat will recognize my status and prestige. Oh my god, guys. What happened? How are people this much of fucking pathetic losers? They have no self-respect for themselves. They're deluded into this fantasy world where they think that this unironically makes them cooler because that's their fucking life. This is reality for them. People are so plugged into this shit, they cannot fathom what they're actually fucking doing. It's so sad and desperate and pathetic.
我现在这个号是48万。
East Asia has come so far technology-wise, but they have some of the loneliest people living there. A lot of factors come into play. The super high pressure to do well in school, the toxic work environment that sucks up all your free time. It's getting a lot harder to meet people. I
mean, this isn't necessarily an Asia-specific problem, but I think it's a lot more exaggerated in Asia due to the population density and how much emphasis the culture has on like good education, good career, good job, right? And like, it's so easy to become like an outcast. Like, let's say you didn't get to your target school, you didn't get to your target job, you're shunned from your family, you feel like an outcast, you're depressed, you're lonely, you know, your aspects of getting a girlfriend or some sort of like stable living and, you know, settling down to have a family no longer exists because you weren't able to meet that standard, this unrealistic standard that's been created through this ridiculous bloodbath of competition that exists due to, again, the population density and the culture in Asia. It does make a lot of sense how a lot of people would end up like this.
And all these new inventions make it that much easier to become a hermit on a whim. Don't feel like you belong in any part of society.
Yeah, just become a neat, right? Hikikomori, right?
Isolate yourself at home and be completely fine.
And like, I think it makes a lot of sense why people do this, right? Because like, why bother participating in the system, this game that's fucked you? Everything is rigged against you. I think there definitely is a level of self-accountability and for you to, you know, make opportunities for yourselves. But like, let's face it, bro. The world is fucking rigged against you. jobs, you know, going to school, this whole pipeline of going to college and getting a good job. It's a fucking lie. The American dream is also a fucking lie. You have to be fucking asleep to believe it. That's why it's called a fucking dream. Stepping on other people's, it's a zero-sum game. That's what capitalism is. And some people just choose not to engage in that. Why do it? Why participate in this fucking system that's created a society that shuns me? Fuck you. I'm gonna just, you know, be recluse and become like a hikikomori. I totally empathize with that.
Fine. Not mentally, of course, but for basic needs, you got a roof over your head, all your meals can be delivered, plus all your entertainment and social needs can be met through a screen. I know some of you are probably thinking, this is my ideal day off, which is okay to do once in a while.
Yeah, but if that's every day, you're gonna regret it. I lived like this for a while too, back during college when I was never able to live to the expectations that I've created for myself from, you know, being from like a high school, from like a small town where I was the smartest kid. People called me a genius, a prodigy. You're gonna achieve so many different things. And then I go to Vancouver, I go to University of British Columbia, and then I realize what real geniuses are, what real prodigies are, and how much of a pathetic normie I was. And how much of like a frog in a well situation it was. It was a very, very cathartic experience of realizing I'm not special, huh? And there was a time of depression where I just, you know, be isolated and lonely, and I wouldn't want to reach out to other people because now it's just like, are you living up to these standards that you've set up for yourself, you know, leading up to this moment? And I started to isolate and become really just living a life of solitude, just like a hermit. I can totally relate to this.
But not for long periods of time. The traditional route of school, good job, married, child, buy car, house, then die
Yeah,
is
that's the
becoming
pipeline.
less of a reality for most. It also seems like people are realizing, you know what, maybe this isn't the path for me. Even though there's still a bunch of societal pressure, it's a tad more acceptable nowadays to find a different way to live your life.
Yeah.
Because you stress, me stress, we all stress.
I think there's a compelling aspect of like going off the grid, becoming a hermit, not to follow in the matrix, right? Who wants to work a fucking 9 to 5 and then come home and barely have any time for yourself and sleep and do the same thing over and over again for what, 30, 40 years? And then you're told then you can fucking retire and live your life when basically you're going to be dead by then? Is there even any guarantee that you'll be able to retire? Maybe you'll die, sacrificing all of these, you know, living years that you have, thinking that you're saving up for retirement. You may not even fucking collect that pension at the end of the day. It's like everything just seems so backwards to me.
You know how stressful it is to try and maintain all your relationships nowadays? It's becoming more enticing to just pay someone for social interactions rather than going out and finding them naturally. You know,
Exactly. Again, there's also that like expected some sort of like expectation that it's that's like there when, you know, sometimes I'm very guilty of this myself. I don't really reach out to my friends and to hang out with them because I don't know. It's like once you graduate high school and you go to college and you move on, all the friends that you had before slowly starts to go away because you realize that you were only really talking to each other and hanging out because you were forced to be in the same building for so many fucking days in a row. But as you grow up and you have different responsibilities and you get more busier, you know, you're not really able to hang out all the time. And if you then reach out, there's also this expectation of like, why aren't you following up? Are we still close? Have we been talking a long time? Should we reconnect? It's a fucking mental hassle. So it's very easier to just kind of settle for, I guess, online communities and to have these superficial relationships where people can just talk so easily on Discord as if they've known each other because there's no expectations. We're all random people hidden behind anonymous, you know, profile pictures, but we have similar hobbies and we can, you know, engage and interact like that. And it's a lot more, it puts the pressure off, if you know what I'm talking about, compared to, again, that expectation of meeting someone in real life and following up and making sure that both parties kind of understand what's going on.
You know, as they say, money can't buy happiness, but it can sure solve a lot of your problems. Host clubs in Japan are really popular spots that cater to a female clientele, where
Yeah, host and hostesses, right? Girls and guys, they pay for these services to kind of, you know, fill the void in their heart.
women will pay attractive men to keep them company for the night while drinking. And nothing really happens inside the club other than just chatting. It's mainly the attention and companionship people are seeking without all the baggage.
ホストの人たちって何をする人たちなのかっていうのをちょっと
What does a host does? He sits there and be pretty and forces you to buy more expensive champagne bottles.
教えていただけますか？
例えば女性だったりのお酒を飲む場を楽しませることだったり、あとやっぱりちょっと寂しくてちょっと異性とこう飲み
Sometimes? No, all the time. You're preying on the loneliness
たい
here.
なっていう 女の人もいるんで。
And if you're not into the bar scene, a man in Japan made a living advertising himself as someone you can hire to just stand there and do nothing.
Do Nothing Guy is a rental service where I lend myself to some... Okay, we got an entrepreneur here. Okay, talk more. You do nothing though? You just exist? What? So this guy doesn't actively engage like the host does. It's like a chill guy rent service. Yeah, this is it. Renting a chill guy service. He just exists. He's just sitting there. He's like, what do you want to do next? Okay, I'm down. All right. There's no pressure. There's nothing. There's no expectations. He's just existing. We're just chilling. What an interesting demand. What an interesting market. For the people that just simply want somebody to just exist there as like, you know, a companion. It's like, it's a total, it's similar to a host, but totally different. Does he get this food for free? Do they pay for it? Does he pay for his own food? What is this? Interesting.
His clients like having his presence around when they feel like going out but don't want to deal with bothering a friend or...
Yeah, it's too much of a hassle, right? Again, those expectations. It's easier to just have a random, again, who has no strings attached. He just exists there. And you're basically just like there to just occupy a seat, you know?
feeling the pressure to socialize. And if you need to talk about your problems, he's a great sounding board. This is...
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to talk about their personal problems to someone intimate, someone real in their lives due to the fear of judgment or how they'll be perceived, right? So like again, talking about these difficult, deep issues to random strangers quite often, it's a lot easier to do so because again, no expectations. It's all anonymous. And you kind of have that burden lifted rather than having to deal with real people to, you know, deal with that because it gets messy.
It's basically consensual trauma dumping. Anyone ever feel this?
Consensual trauma dumping. That's perfect.
There have been times when I found it was easier to tell a stranger I'll never see again something kind of personal compared to a friend.
Absolutely. I think everyone can agree with this because again, if you tell a friend or someone you know close to you about this shit, you worry about what they're going to think about you, how they're going to judge you.
You don't even have to say anything. If you cosplay as a wall with ears and eyes, that's good enough for me. An introvert's ideal friend. Wall. I always make Sims references, but this is literally having someone's presence fill up your social media for the week. You know, we don't all have to follow the same path. If you want to spend your money shaving those hot guys and...
Yo, Love and Deep, you get to shave the guy. What about down there? You get to shave his pubes too? What about at least his armpits? How about that? Oh, Zane. I'm gonna put some cream on. You're gonna shave. You better not move, you bad boy. Understood. I won't move.
In space with no facial hair, then more power to you. From an outside perspective.
You see the swipe? You see the swiping motion here? Look at this.
Then more power.
Yo, I actually want to play this game just to see how unhinged the fan service is. Yo, this is hilarious. Holy.
Or to you. From an outside perspective, it's easy to look at these people and feel bad for them. But paying for companionship is really a case-by-case basis. There are healthy ways to include parasocial relationships into your life, so it ends up in a net positive.
Yes, again, I don't think parasocial is fundamentally bad. It's like anything with moderation, anything with extremes is obviously going to be bad. And I've just seen time after time so many examples of people being deluded into thinking that they're more than just like a fan, they're more than just a chatter, simply by donating more money that they'll have more value to that content creator. And that delusion, I just feel like it's so sad. At least I have the fucking respect for you guys. Like as much as I call you guys monkeys and we fool around a lot, there is this base sense of self-respect that I want you guys to have. To understand that, like, listen, we can have a lot of fun, we can watch a lot of anime together, and we can play a lot of games together. But like you and I, we will never have that close friendship, and we shouldn't have to. It's simply entertainment. We create a wall there. We have fun around that, and we can have a fun time. But if you go beyond that, trying to have something more, trying to pry into my life and trying to be someone like close to me by sending me like more money, that's when shit gets really uncomfortable and weird, and it breeds a very toxic community where nothing good can happen.
I invested a lot of my time and money into content creators, artists, and K-pop idols who don't even know I exist. And I'm totally fine with that because they're providing me with entertainment.
Yeah, you're paying for the content. You want to support a content creator, you know, by giving them money to, you know, have more production value or whatever, support them when they're in need. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about the intent. What are you expecting when you send that money? Ask yourself that.
And comforting background noise. What helps me from becoming too chronically online is making sure I get up and go outside at some point. The perfect
Touch some grass.
ratio is 1 real-life interaction for every 5 attractive game character or online interactions.
Is your exclusive service?
No, my exclusive service is when we shave your pubes down there.
That sounds sus, since I made it up. Just go outside and talk to human, okay? But before you do that, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed yourself here. That's one more food for the YouTube algorithm and 1 more engagement for me. Have a good
These kind of topics and videos, obviously, it's not going to perform that well in the YouTube algorithm because we're an anime reaction channel. But I do really enjoy these kind of commentary videos, which really highlights my commentary and the things that I believe in. And this is a very good video. I'm going to sub to this guy's channel. I've seen him quite a time, a bunch of them on TikTok as well. But like, this is a very interesting video. And again, just because it's parasocial doesn't mean it's bad. But with anything, think about moderation. Think about the intent that you have when trying to send money to some sort of content creator. If you want to support them because they're a small streamer, or you want to support them towards some sort of goal for making better content, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're sending money in hopes that they'll treat you better, in hopes that they'll be closer to you, that's when things get very, very slippery, and you don't want to fall into that rabbit hole. Give this video a like. Please go check out Mr. Edvasian. I don't know how to say his name, but that's it from me.